Yes, it is. Uh, hello, I'm Dave Shipper, and today we're talking to Rachel Sumner. Rachel, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're one of our first six-pack finalists.
Yeah, well, so currently I'm in the Boston area, and I'm originally from California. I'm a transplant. I've been here for about 10 years. I came out here for school, going to Berkeley College of Music, and there, I came here as a flute player. I didn't play guitar at all. And I was in it for film scoring and composition. And somewhere during my time, I was exposed to. I had already loved like country music, and like Nickel Creek was really big for me growing up. But somewhere along the way, somebody handed me a guitar, and they were like, "Here are three chords." And from there, I started writing my own songs. And then I started playing gigs with a band that I founded. We toured um, nationally. In fact, we danced around Wisconsin. We never got to Wisconsin, but I've played Petoskey, Michigan, and in Iowa, and in Minneapolis. So I feel like it's high time that I get to Wisconsin.
Sounds like it. Well, if we're jumping right into our factoid questions, you've just answered the first one. You've never been to lacrosse.
Never been, but hopefully soon.
So I don't know if you travel abroad, but have you been to the Rhine River?
I haven't been to the Rhine River, but I've been to Trier. And today I was like Googling, like, is the Rhine River near Trier? Did I miss the Rhine? But I didn't miss the Rhine. So
Well, our area has been favorably compared to it with the bluffs. We don't have any castles, but
we can't all have castles.
and the giant six pack you've never heard of. But Dave's Guitar Shop. Have you ever heard of that?
I believe I'm like 90% sure that I've purchased some gear from like Reverb through Dave's Guitar Shop, but that's been my exposure to Dave's Guitar Shop. I've
Well,
been listening to the other contestants, and it you've described it, and it sounds like a dream. Like I need to go there.
my house concert guests, when I get a chance to take them up downtown La Crosse, to eat or something like that, or artists that I've hosted, I get them to Dave's Guitar Shop, and they travel. So, it's coming from them, and they said they've never seen a guitar shop like that nationally. Never.
Wow.
It is something else. So, all right. Well, that's our first question. I left my glasses on today. I blew this up so I didn't have to have glasses. I'm old. I need readers. A Legends quiz. Bob Dylan or John Prine?
Bob Dylan for sure.
Joni Mitchell or Carole King?
See, now this one is tough. It depends on the season. It depends on the state of my heart. Today I would probably pick Joni Mitchell.
Robert Cray or BB King?
BB King.
Okay. Brandy Carlisle or Gillian Welch?
I definitely have to go with Gillian Welch. I've got posters all over my house of Gillian Welch. So yeah, I love her to
If you
pieces.
do, then you started young. You said somebody put a guitar in your hand, but you had the love for acoustic full type music before you went to Boston.
Yeah, my I had a hippie uncle who was like he used to follow the Grateful Dead around in the 70s, and he came to visit when I was young, and he bought a Nickel Creek album, two Nickel Creek albums actually for us, and two Alison Krauss albums, and that was kind of I had listened to James Taylor and Fleetwood Mac growing up, a lot of like
Big,
folk singer songwriters. So music was a big love for me. Jackson Brown, my mom absolutely loved Jackson Brown. So I grew up on all that. But it wasn't until my hippie uncle came and introduced me to like the acoustic, a little more like progressive stuff going on, like what Nickel Creek was doing. And that was basically the gateway for me into bluegrass and so on and so forth.
and your last group was kind of more of a bluegrass. You tried to have some strings and mandolins, because I think you submitted one of the songs with that group.
Yeah. We started out as pure bluegrass. We would do like fun arrangements of them at the Cantab Lounge, which is a local legend where they've had bluegrass night there for the past like 25 years on Tuesday nights, and a lot of bands have come out of there, like Della May started there. Joy Kilsaro, I think, started there. Lot of
You
cool
know,
bands.
you picked the area to just thrive in the acoustic music. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
uh, there's no doubt about it. So, when do you write? Morning, midday, evening, when the muse knocks?
Well, in an ideal world, in my mind, my I would love to be a morning writer. I like imagine myself waking up with the sun, going out on the porch and writing. But that I'm not a morning person at all. So, alas, I am a midday writer and sometimes nighttime writer as well. Um, and I don't do it with as much regularity as I would like to do because the other half of my life is sending emails, I find. Uh, and it's not always easy to feel super creative when you're sending a
Uh,
bunch of emails to venues and stuff.
when you don't have an agent,
Yeah,
you have to wear all the hats. Yep.
exactly.
You like to write with prompts or not prompts?
Depends. Sometimes I do. I like to try as many different ways writing a song and seeing how it comes out because I feel like I'm still exploring what works best for me. And I think the best thing for me is to keep myself on my toes. So, yeah, it just depends.
Well, your song Radium Girls that won or got you into the contest. Of course, I was telling my wife, "Oh yeah, talking to the woman who wrote the song about Radium Girls, the tragedy." She says, "Of course." I didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it either. And I mean, that was part of the reason I wrote the song because I was so shocked that I had never heard of these women. And I wanted to make sure that told as many people as I could about their very tragic tale. There's something to be learned from that story. And in a lot of ways, there are echoes of what they went through that we feel today.
um, that video was well composed too with a harmony singer, and now I know you started in reeds, so you that's why there was a clarinet and something else.
Yes, yeah, I've been getting creative with really getting in touch with my woodwind
Yeah,
roots and trying to apply it to what I'm doing right now.
but a job well done. Thought it was excellent. So,
Thank you.
uh, paper, computer, or something else? How do you write?
All the ways. Can we include typewriter in there too? I find I write a different kind of song
Yeah.
with a different format, and I have old notebooks that I have now like put in my Google Keep notes, and I do still write on paper, but I also do some writing in my notes app, and I just try to keep every scrap and then go back to it when I'm looking for inspiration.
All of the above. Um, so one of the artists was a little confused by this next question, but it was the entire song. So if you would frame a lyric of yours, which one would it be?
um, well, I'm torn. I'm sentimental, and I found the original handwritten lyrics for my very first song. So it could be that, but also I really love the Radium Girls song that I wrote for reasons. The story is just so heartbreaking, and it serves as a reminder. So maybe I would pick the Radium Girls song for all the purposes of this interview.
Right. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Okay.
What frame would you put it in?
I would put it in a gold frame with some glow in the dark paint speckled on it.
Perfect. Yeah. And you would hang it.
By my computer above my desk.
All right. Now, who? Who would you think as your best writing coach? Now you went to school, so I assume you had a songwriting class as well, or not?
I actually didn't
Really?
tap into the songwriting courses at Berkeley. I kind of came to songwriting and developed my chops through just analyzing my favorite artists. So I don't know if there's one single person I could thank, but I would definitely thank all my friends who let me like rant at them and like deep dive into songs and talk about them for hours on end, because all of that helped me learn from the masters, you know, and from my favorite folks, and turn around and put it in my own writing.
I'm guessing that you're not very shy and you're kind of extroverted.
I think I'm an extrovert.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like it. And you will talk for a while.
Yes. Yeah. If given free reign, I will talk a
Uh,
lot.
from a family like that. The people who have married us, our spouses, all look at each other and they say, "That's a shipper." You know? Seven words you would tell your 10-year-old self.
um, I wrote this down. I'm hoping I remember it right. Uh, you'll not only survive, you will thrive. That's it.
And 10 years old, you would have been in California.
I was in California,
That's a good
and yeah,
part of California. Out of
uh, the desert. It's like near Edwards Air Force Base, technically part of LA County, but when my husband came to visit for the first time, he was like, "This is more like a town in New Mexico or something like that." So, you know,
Cool.
Joshua trees, tumbleweeds everywhere.
Well, yeah, you've been fun to talk to, Rachel. Do you have any questions for me?
um, No, I feel well informed. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and to be a part of the contest, and I'm just so grateful to be a finalist. It's amazing and humbling, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
No problem. I we look forward to it, and every year is a different journey, and I look forward to. Now, you can't submit any more songs, but you will have to pick the second song. So you either
Okay,
pick a song that you submitted or submit a different one, and a different set of judges will look at it in a fine tooth comb. So
cool.
that was how you approach how Kerrville was approached. You had two songs that you had to bring back to them or something like that.
Yeah, and they kept it in a tight 8 minutes, which was a little difficult considering Radium Girls is over 6 minutes.
Yeah, had just talked to Carrie Elton, who was coming to our festival. I said, in our old songwriting contest rules, you had to mail in a CD. You had to you had to put your lyrics inside. You had to do this. All these rules, and I
Yeah.
tried to get just kind of like upload it to an MP3. Oh no, and it had to be less than 4 minutes. So
Whew.
young girls would have just been tossed out, and I think that's sad. I think
Yeah.
sometimes Dylan would take longer than 6 minutes, and sometimes Dylan would take 2 minutes and he's done. It's like
Yeah.
it's what the song requires. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
well, you won't have that kind of limit this time around, so don't worry about
Whew.
that.
Yay. Thank you.
And I look forward to listening to more of you. I did pick up your cover CD that because there was a couple songs I really wanted to hear in there, and I'll keep looking at see what you got out there in Bandcamp. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I just finished recording a new album, and I just got the masters back, so that is on the horizon. It's going to be my first full length solo record, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everyone.
That sounds like fun, and I'm old school. I like to buy music, so I'll put it on my list. You're in my.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, unless you have any other questions, I think it was a lot of fun to talk to you, and I hope people explore your music library as well as listening to the rest of the songwriting contest.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Oh shoot! End meeting for all. I would imagine they'll tell me after this that I've done recording.